Welcome to the Steel City. We are getting set for the Pittsburgh Regional Final. 4 teams have worked so hard all season, every day, grinding. It all comes down to tonight inside the Peterson Event Center. And as we take a look at the bracket for the Pittsburgh Regional Final, it is between all the seeded teams. Straight chalk in Pittsburgh, California, Michigan State, Florida, and Arizona State. The top 2 will advance to Fort Worth. Hi there again with 9-time NCAA champion Bridget Sloan. I'm Alex Perlman, and Bridget, it all comes down to today. There might be the most parity of any regional here in Pittsburgh because any of these 4 can advance to NCAA Nationals.
This is what these teams have been working for all season long. Advancing to the regional finals, finishing in that top 2 spot, and then punching that ticket onto Fort Worth.
Well, we know the number 2 Gators have had an incredible season, but the road is going to get a little bit harder because of what happened Friday night. Trinity Thomas walking off her floor routine. She did not compete in the final 2 events for Florida, but she did come back under her own power, put the sweatpants on, and is a cheerleader today as well because she is not in the Florida lineups. But, Bridget, if any team in the country can survive an injury like that, it's the Gators.
Absolutely. They came out on Friday with 5 event titles, including vault, bars, and beam, and floor, and the all-around. You can't replace Trinity Thomas, but with the depth that Florida has, they can fill in for her. And they've got the talent, and this is their moment to shine.
And it starts right now. Our quad box is up. We'll take you through it all meet long. On the top left, vault, where California will start. Florida is on the bars to begin. Beam, Michigan State on the bottom left of your screen, and Arizona State on floor on the bottom right. It is going to come down to tenths. It could even come down to hundredths, to be honest with you, with how good all 4 of these teams are and how well they have performed all season.
In that top right, Sloan Blakely for Florida in this lead-off position. She had a 9.9 on Friday. She might get that, if not better. That was a fantastic routine for Sloan. Nice start for the Gators.
Top left for Cal is Andy Lee, one of 4 all-arounders in the lineup. And a great start right there under co-head coaches Justin Howell and Elizabeth Crandall-Howell, who have taken this program on the rise, Bridget, to where the Golden Bears are right now as the number 7 seed. Back to the top right, Sloan Blakely.
And that dismount, that was a double front blind landing, and she nails it almost every time. The confidence that Sloan has in her gymnastics is amazing.
The leadoff for the Spartans in the bottom left is Gianna Khalifi, and then on the bottom right for Arizona State on floor is Kayla Lee.
Starting on balance beam for Michigan State, this is a big opportunity for them to kind of get it behind them. They didn't have the strongest showing on Friday. Gianna Khalifi only with a 9.7 in the leadoff, had a few bobbles here and there. Looking solid so far. Dismount, gainer full, and fights for that landing. Really nice start for Michigan State on an event that normally can give teams a lot of trouble.
You know, the Spartans are really looking for a bounce back from Friday, where in session 1 they scored just a 196.825, the lowest score for Michigan State since February 11th. I think, Bridget, it's fair to say the judging was very tight in session 1. You would imagine the scoring potential will go up even higher, but this is a team that scored 198.225 4 meets ago. They are more than capable of giving even Florida a run for its money.
Absolutely. They just looked a little tight themselves in the competition on Friday. They were in the afternoon session. I don't want to say they looked nervous, but they didn't look their normal selves. They had a lot of errors, small errors, but those add up at the end of the meet, so really hoping that they can just settle in today and do what they do best, and that's great gymnastics.
Victoria Wynn ready to go on the top right. On the top left is Madeline Williams, following up Andy Lee's 9.8.
And Maddie with a huge Yurchenko full, sticks that landing. It's a 9.95 start value. Cal off to a great start on vault.
Still waiting on Sloan Blakely's score as Wynn finishes up on the top right of your screen for Florida, ranked number 2nd in the country on bars this year, and puts it down.
Outstanding performance for Victoria. She had a 9.85 on Friday. That routine was cleaner and better, in my opinion. Should be a bigger score than that 9.85.
On beam for Michigan State is Delaney Harkness. 9.775 is the score for Arizona State on floor to begin things for Kayla Lee, as Sarah Clark now performs her floor routine.
Arizona State had a whopping 49.425 on floor on Friday, so they are capable of putting up some big scores. This is an event where they can really kind of pull away and get that solid start.
It was really a massive meet for the Sun Devils overall, with a 197.525, actually 2nd among the teams that advanced behind Florida.
Combination pass for Sarah, 1.5 route layout, nicely done.
Casey Brown in the top left for Cal is capable of a 10-0 star value with the Yurchenko 1.5. They decided to go with the Yurchenko full, just a 9.95 star value, but well executed. Well, just 2 routines in, Michigan State looks very different in the bottom left on beam. Khalifi started with a 9.9, and Harkness just stuck her dismount.
And they stuck double tucker Sarah Clark in that bottom right. Arizona State, she's coming after Kayla's 9.775. Gonna try to amp that up in the athletes to come. And wow, Delaney Harkness sticks that 1.5 off the end of the beam, just capitalizing. Coming from Gianna's 9.9. This is a different team than what we saw on Friday. They are cooler, they're calmer, and they're just competing like they know how to, and that is when they're gonna get those big scores.
And on the top right, Kayla DiCello's first event. She is in the all-around, 1 of 4 now for the Gators, following up a 9.85 from Blakely, 9.875 for Wynn, and DiCello, who put up a blistering 39.8 in the all-around just 2 nights ago.
And had a perfect 10 on uneven bars on Friday. So we know she is capable of a big score here. The talent and just the experience she brings to this Florida team.
Top
she
left,
competes
Nevaeh
like she's a
D'Souza
veteran.
oh yes, absolutely. Nevaeh D'Souza certainly is one, the senior for Cal on the top left, with the Yurchenko 1.5, following up 3 scores that are in the 9.8 range at the moment, 2 9.8s and a 9.875. And she'll get the bear head for the line down the teammates. And now we look towards beam. That's the bottom left, where Nikki Smith is starting her all-around night. And she is also looking for a bounce-back performance, an uncharacteristic score for her of 37.875. Fell off of the beam, had just an 8.875, lowest for her in her college career. And you would imagine it's going to be a different story here in the regional final.
Absolutely. So far, Nikki is doing quite the opposite of what she did on Friday. She's precise with her movement. She's aggressive. This is the Nikki we are used to seeing in this beam lineup. And she has a huge dismount. Again, bottom left. This is a round-off double tuck. Hardest dismount, in my opinion, and nails it.
Wow! What a routine for Nikki Smith.
And that was where
and
she
for
had the
Leanne
trouble.
Wong in the top right. You're right, absolutely, Bridget.
No issue today. Wow.
This is a strong start for the Gators, though. DiCello began her evening with a 9.95. Nothing below or above 9.875 at the moment for Cal on vault.
Wow, Nikki Smith in that bottom left. That was a beautiful tuck double back. Hardest dismount in the NCAA, and she just nailed that routine. Really impressive work by Nikki.
And Malazan in the top left, landing her vault. Just one more competitor to go for the Golden Bears, and that is MJ Frazier, who has a big vault that you are going to want to keep your eye on in the top left part of your screen. Top right is Riley McCusker. McCusker Friday with a 9.9 on bars, only competing in her 7th bars routine this year, debuted back on February 3rd. As we just await Leanne Wong's score. You can see it's a great start now for the Gators on bars, looking to drop that 9.85 potentially from Sloan Blakely. And Michigan State on beam has got 9.9, 9.87, 5.99. And Skyla Schulte now.
Riley takes this bar routine. She has, in my opinion, textbook technique. I mean, she is flawless on this event. Toe point, handstand work. Just the dismount, stalled her into a double tuck. See if she can get the stick. Just the step on the landing. But overall, so clean, so smooth. She's such an incredible bar swinger. Love to see her in this lineup.
Top left, MJ Frazier for Cal.
Yurchenko double twist, just a small hop on that landing. We did not see her in the lineup on Friday, but it is awesome to see her in this vault lineup today in these regional finals. Take another look. Top left, this is a Yurchenko double twist, the hardest vault in NCAA that is competed and does it beautifully. Just the smallest hop on the landing. That is a 10-0 start value.
It should be a very solid score coming up for Cal as they finish up rotation number 1. Still have not broken the 9.9 plateau. Maybe Frazier's will, and that could boost up their rotation score as well. Leanne Wong had a 9.975 on bars for Florida, waiting on Riley McCusker's score, and now Peyton Richards is in the anchor spot for the injured Trinity Thomas. Again, if you're just joining us, she is not competing tonight because of that right lower leg injury, listed as day-to-day officially.
A nice finish for Arizona State. Jordan Jaslow getting things going. Arizona State on floor right now, not breaking into that 9.9 yet, but they're very consistent. They're going to be looking to drop the 9.775, but nice consistent 9.85s. See if Jordan can break into that 9.875, 9.9 range and really get the juices flowing for this Arizona State team.
Peyton Richards closes out the rotation on bars for Florida. Right now counting nothing below a 9.875. And Gabby Stephen starting her all-around evening on beam.
Gabby was part of the
Skyla
four-way winning beam title between Riley McCusker, Kayla DiCello, Gabby Stephen, and Hannah Scharf. So she is capable of a big score. She had a 9.95 on Friday.
And in the regular season finale, a 9.975. The low score right now on beam for Michigan State is a 9.8 from Skyla Schulte just a moment ago.
Gabby is fierce on all of her elements, so sharp with her movements. Dismount, this is a round off double twist. See if she can get the stick. Absolutely she can. Wow.
Spartans are off to an excellent start here in the regional final. They came up just short last year in Seattle, finishing 3rd, but they had a then program record 197.625. By the way, a 9.9 came in for Cal on vault for MJ Frazier. So a 49.275 is the vault rotation score for the Golden Bears. Emily White on the right side of your screen now, following up Jaslow's 9.875. Very consistent so far, and Kayla Lee's 9.775 in the leadoff spot for Arizona State is in line to be dropped.
Alex, Emily had a 9.9 on Friday on this event. Now's the time to get in that 9.9. Anchor Hannah Scharf, again, also capable of a big score.
Try to keep the pressure on. Florida did exactly what it needs to do. Peyton Richards' score was 9.825. That's the one that actually is going to end up getting dropped. They'll count Blakely's 9.85 and a 49.575 on bars to start off the night for the Gators.
And a very nice finish for Emily White. Nice clean floor routine, excellent dance, artistry, and big tumbling.
Gabby Stevens' score was a 9.875, and now Garcia in the anchor spot is looking to cap off an impressive beam rotation. It is not easy to start there in a regional final, but that is the draw that Michigan State got, and they are not letting it affect them in any way.
Bailey is beautiful on beam. Saw that front aerial split jump. Perfect execution. Another switch leap to split jump. Just the precise and the precision she does with all of her elements. Every hand movement has a place. And a stuck gainer full off the side. I mean, starting on beam is really tough. But if you are Michigan State, you say no problem. They are looking to drop a 9.8. And by what I just witnessed with that beam routine, that should be no problem by Bailey Garcia.
Emily White equaled her 9.9 from session 2 on Friday night. And now Hannah Scharf will begin on the right side of the anchor spot for Arizona State.
And taking another look at Bailey Garcia, that was the front aerial split jump, and then this dismount, back handspring into her gainer full, finds that landing, no problems.
Hannah Scharf, the only all-arounder for the Sun Devils. If you know any name with Arizona State gymnastics over the past few years, it is probably this one in Scharf. Named All Pac-12 first team in the all-around for the third time in her career.
Anna is exceptional on floor. Had a 9.925 on Friday. See that NQS, 9.925. I mean, she's got the tumbling, she's got the dance, the execution. She's really the full package of what Arizona State wants in an all-arounder.
And head coach Jay Santos told us he is extra excited because she is pretty set on returning for a 5th season.
Definitely not ready to let her go just yet. And a double pike to finish this routine. Nicely done, really clean. Really, I didn't see a lot of errors in that floor routine. She's quick to her finishes, and she's got great height on her tumblings. It's great. Take a look at this double pike. The only thing right there, she goes backwards just a little bit. You saw that front foot shift backwards just a little. That's really the biggest deduction on those landings. But again, she's a veteran. She's quick to her finishes. She knows how to do it.
Bridget, but honestly, as we wait on Scharf's score, Bailey Garcia's on beam for Michigan State came in at a 9.875. They drop a 9.8. And right in the mix at the moment, all 4 of these teams, like we thought, they're there. I mean, they have done what they need to do through one rotation.
Alex, I don't want to say that we called it, But we did kind of call it. I knew going into today that it was going to come down to the absolute last moment. Michigan State getting Beam out of the way. That is huge for them. An event that really causes a lot of tension on some teams sometimes. That is out of the way. They've got 3 amazing events left. Florida, good on all 4. Cal, Beam is one of their best events. I mean, and of course, Arizona State getting Floor out, and then everybody is just off to such a great start. It just gets me a little excited for what's to come next.
Yep. And the gap between second and third is not big at all at this point either. You can see where Arizona State's going. They're going to vault. Cal on bars. Florida transfers to Beam. Michigan State to floor. Up and running. Coming back after this, the Pittsburgh Regional. Rotation is finished here in Pittsburgh. Extremely close. The difference between numbers 2 and 3 right now is just 1/10 and a quarter. How have we gotten here? Well, on vault, MJ Frazier was certainly the highlight for Cal with a rotation score of 49.275.
It is so great to see her back in lineup. Yurchenko double twist. Incredible.
And that goes down as a 9-9 in the anchor spot. Leanne Wong had a bit of an off meet, I think, even by her standards on Friday night. Not the case, following up a 9-8 on bars in round 2 with this 9.975, near perfection.
And over to Beam, Nikki Smith, who also had uncharacteristic mistakes on Friday. No problem today. Hit a huge 9.9, really helped Michigan State end that Beam with a wow.
And keeping Arizona State right in the thick of potentially advancing is Emily White with this wowing 9-9. Something that they absolutely needed right now with a 49.3 sitting in third place. You can see Florida has the lead by 1/10 and a half. Michigan State is not far behind. And then, of course, the battle between 2 and 3 is what we are watching. Only the top 2 advance to NCAA Nationals. What we are looking forward to here, the number 1 storyline that jumps out, Bridget, is Florida not having Trinity Thomas today. Hopefully she is going to be okay. She's day-to-day. Wait and see if she gets to Nationals, if Florida can advance. But for Cal, they were winning session 1 with that 197.25, and I think they have a lot more left in the tank. Michigan State hoping for a much better meet. It is on the way right now. And Arizona State, they were the real team that opened your eyes, I think, a bit on Friday night.
Absolutely. Cal and Michigan State, really on Friday, I've mentioned it before, they looked tight. They looked a little tense. They didn't really look the loose and kind of calm competitors that we're used to seeing. That is not the case today. I mean, they know what is at stake, and they know that in order to make the dream of getting to NCAAs come true, they have to be in that 1-2 position. And Florida is not going to make it easy. They are leading after the first rotation by small margin, but getting in that second spot is really going to be tough today.
Trinity here being an excellent teammate, as she always is, cheering on the rest of the Gators and hoping that they are the ones that end up advancing along with one other team. They don't really mind who it is, as long as Florida is on that list. All right. To vault, Arizona State on the top left, and they will begin with Jordan Jaslow.
And a Yurchenko full, nice start, nice clean throughout the air, just a small hop on that landing. You're not going to see a lot of huge vaults from Arizona State, but one thing that they do really well is they're clean. And they've got great technique, and that was one thing that Jay Santos told us, is that when you watch our vaults, I want you to think the technique. And with that start, that's exactly what we're thinking.
Cal gets underway on bars with the senior Nevaeh D'Souza, the all-arounder, usually at the top of the lineup. She likes leading off. Bottom left is Beam for Florida, where Sloan Blakely will be in that spot once again, just like she was on bars. And for floor, Michigan State and Nia Smith.
In the top right, Cal on uneven bars. Nevaeh is an outstanding leadoff for Cal. I didn't want to jinx her, but she's almost a guarantee hit every time. Sticks that dismount, and she is the ultimate competitor to get the ball rolling for a rotation, and she did just that on uneven bars today.
Nevaeh, the 5-time All-American. Blakely on beam, bottom left for Florida. Gonna fall 4 all-arounders in this lineup for the Gators. Blakely, DiCello, Richards, and Wong. On the top left, Gracie Reeves.
Another Yurchenko full. Again, nice throughout the air, but the landings. We used to say balance beam was the event. If you could hit beam, you were one of the front runners. Now, in my opinion, who sticks the most vaults is who is going to be on top. So those little
all
details
about the landings.
So crucial, exactly. And Nia Smith for Michigan State in that bottom right. Nice start. Again, coming after an outstanding beam rotation. You can tell the energy. Michigan State is bringing the energy.
Yeah, they went 4/10 better on beam than they did in session 2. The only score we have in so far is on vault, Jordan Jaslow's 9.825. There's Jada Mangahaz getting set in the top left. Top right for bars, Cal's MJ Frazier following up a 9.875 from D'Souza.
Nice cast handstand for MJ, just the dismount, double layout, and gets the stick. Very, very nice job coming after Nevaeh's 9.875.
That is going to be a really big one. Bars a 9.85 for her on Friday. Mangahaz top left.
And that was fantastic. Another Yurchenko full, but no movement on that landing. Gets the stick. It's a 9.95 start value. I don't think she could have done it any better.
Those are the landings that Jay Santos knows his Sun Devils have to put down if they are going to compete with the likes of Florida, Michigan State, and Cal. Ellie Lazzari on beam for Florida, following up Blakely's 9.85. The Gators went 49.575 with 4 scores of 9.9 or better. It was the only rotation on Friday that they counted Trinity Thomas's score. She had a 9.9.
And Ellie is just rock solid for Florida on beam. The only event, she's a specialist for beam. And man, does she do it well.
Head coach Jenny Rowland told us sometimes there's a lot more pressure on an event specialist because they know this is their only shot. But Ellie has done an excellent job handling that pressure. Mangahaz with a deserving 9.9, new career high for her.
A nice finish for Ellie on beam, just a hop on that dismount.
Alex Theodoro.
That was huge. Again, we talk about the details. They might have hurt us maybe because they are really honing in on those landings, not giving anything away. For an event that is not their strongest, they are really fighting for every 10th.
This is an incredibly important event for Arizona State because if they're able to put up a good score, they set themselves up for potentially big ones on bars and beam to close out. Tiana Khalifi just finishing up her floor routine on the bottom right, following up the 9.85 for Nia Smith to lead off for Michigan State on floor. They did not have a down 49.475. That is not down for Michigan State, even though maybe an overall meet, but on floor they were great on Friday.
Absolutely. That was, without a doubt, their best event, and they looked the most comfortable competing out there. Again, sometimes these athletes you get nervous, of course, but man, when they are just cool and calm, they are just capable of so much greatness, and you are seeing that today.
Here's Anaya Smith. Absolutely sticks the 1.5, one of just two 10-0 start values. She brings the coach down, so amped up.
That was big. That was really big. That's a 10-0 start value. Gets the landing. Great technique throughout. That was awesome.
The back end of this Arizona State vault lineup is putting it on right now. 9-9, 9-9-2-5 for Theodoro, and now Smith. Top left.
Another look. It's a Yurchenko 1.5. I mean, she just nails that vault. Chest was up. Arms were flared and a little too excited. Took the coach down.
Yeah, we had a
right.
spill
She's
on
back
aisle 8.
Her feet. Wow.
All right, let's go to beam on the bottom left for Florida. Kayla DiCello coming off her 9.95 on bars. 9.85 and 9.875 are the scores at the moment for the number 2 seeded Gators. Look at the Arizona State vault score for Smith, a 9.95. 3 straight career highs set now by the Sun Devils. And the ultra dependable Hannah Scharf, the only vaulter remaining. They're dropping a 9.8 at the moment, and the lowest score counting a 9.825. This is one of those massive moments in a meet when it comes to qualification to nationals. Scharf on the top left. Wow.
And that was nearly perfect. A hop on that landing, but one thing that she does so well, Hannah gets the block off the vault, showcasing the height. She's got great layout position throughout. The biggest deduction was the landing, and it was such a minor hop.
The 9.8 for Arizona State on vault should definitely be going away, and this is going to be a huge score on vault for the Sun Devils.
And in that bottom right, that was Delaney Harkness for Michigan State. Michigan State right now not putting up the big floor scores that we're used to seeing, but coming off the 2 9.85s, Delaney capable of a big score, and the final 3 athletes for Michigan State are wow factors, all 3 of them.
Maddie Williams on the top, sticking her dismount, following up Andy Lee's 9.9. They are bringing it on bars. No score below 9.875. That is the one that they are dropping at the moment. This is one of the best bars rotations in the country, and they are showing it. Ranked 4th coming into the NCAA regionals.
And Alex, when we talked to Justin earlier this week, he knows his team is capable of advancing. It came down to really them believing in themselves, and you're seeing it today. I mean, they are going out there and they are putting on a show, and it's amazing to be able to call this meet, because this is like a back-to-back-to-back. Everything is going on at one time, and you are seeing greatnst on all 4
Wrapping up
events.
Arizona State's vault rotation, a 9.85 for Hannah Scharf. So that gives them a 49.45 for rotation number 2, and that resets their season high in that event. Exactly what the Sun Devils needed to come in, making up some ground after they were last after the first rotation. Maddie Williams with a 9.95 for Cal on bars. This is going to turn out to be a massive one, no matter what Ella Cesario does. But if Cesario is able to put up a 9.9 plus score, and they can drop one of the 9.875s, you're talking somewhere near 39.7 for this rotation.
And in the bottom right, this is Gabby Stephen for Michigan State. Had a 9.85 on Friday, but capable of big scores. Nice combination pass, front through to double pike.
An excellent finish there. Could be 49.7, of course, not 39.7. On the bottom left, Leanne Wong following up the 9.95 from Kayla DiCello. The Gators do not look fazed by not having Trinity Thomas in the lineup today, out because of injury. everyone on this team is capable of putting up huge scores, and especially on beam, where this team is one of the best in the entire country. They come in ranked 3rd. And Gabby Stephen finishes off on the right side.
Coming after Delaney Harkness, 9.9. She is set up for a huge score, and she's only going to get better because the next 2 athletes for Michigan State, Nikki Smith and Skylar Schulte, are outstanding.
And so we wait on the left side now for Riley McCusker to go. Leanne Wong's score was a 9.975. She is on fire tonight, equaling her mark on bars for Florida. Dare I say, I mean, not filling the void of Trinity Thomas, but those are Trinity Thomas type scores.
Florida has a lot of talent, and it's amazing that they're able to showcase this. Obviously, you never want a teammate to go down with an injury, but to have the depth that they have, it's kind of a no-problem situation. And Riley doing what Riley does. Beautiful gymnastics, acro series, handspring layout, step out. Just so elegant and so fluid with her movements.
She had a 9.95 in the anchor spot on Friday, but not there. She's number 5 today. Peyton Richards, competing the all-around, is the anchor tonight.
On floor for Michigan State, this is Nikki Smith. Opens with a huge tuck full in.
A deserving hug from her head coach, Jenny Rowland. And beam is just turning into a party now. The Gators are having, through almost 2 rotations, I'm not saying it's going to continue this way, Bridget, but this is as stress-free a regional final as you can have right now for Florida. Because right now they're dropping a 9.85. Sloan Blakely's leadoff routine on beam. And a 49.575 to start on bars.
I don't think it's necessarily stress-free, but they're definitely competing very calm and very stress-free. Like, again, the depth that Florida has. Head coach Jenny Rowland even told us every athlete that is able to compete has been in the lineup at least once this year, which is incredible.
Yeah, the depth is insane. I know Gators fans watching right now are anything but stress-free, but this has been really impressive. And it's exactly how you would expect Florida to come out and perform. And on the right side, talk about impressive with what Michigan State's doing on floor. Nikki Smith closing this one out. This is going to be a big, big number. Her teammates want perfection. Back-to-back 9.9 plus scores for Harkness and Stephen.
And with that performance that Nikki just did, there should be no problem getting a 9.9 plus. And to anchor Michigan State, Skylar Schulte, I don't know if there's any better of an anchor than Skylar Schulte.
And there's a lot of celebration going on down on that Michigan State side in the corral. We just have to wait. It's a hug from Mike Rowe and the rest of her teammates. We might have seen something pretty special. It's a 9.95. Close, an excellent routine for the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. And now last year's Big Ten Freshman of the Year to anchor Michigan State on floor.
And for Florida on balance beam right now, Peyton Richards. Switch leap to straddle jump. She's such a calm competitor. On all the events that she competes, she just gets up there and looks so at ease. Makes it look way too easy. Dismount back handspring, 1.5, and gets the stick. For an athlete that was thrown into the mix last minute, wow.
That is how you close out a beam rotation. Beam doesn't phase Florida. It just seems like time in and time out. It's an event that can be pressure-packed for a lot of teams, but it's one that they really enjoy performing on.
Absolutely. Pressure makes diamonds, and let me tell you, these athletes, I know they feel the pressure, but they thrive off of the pressure because they want to do so well for not just themselves, but for their team.
Yeah, and the Gators are certainly shining tonight. Skylar Schulte on the right side is the anchor, as we mentioned, for Michigan State. Following up Nikki Smith's 9.95, a 9.925, a 9.9, and a 9.85, the scores that will count at the moment. Schulte had a 9.925 in session 1 on Friday.
Front through to double tuck. Little lack of control on that landing. Right now, Michigan State is looking to drop a 9.85. Skylar capable of putting up a huge number here, especially coming after Gabby and Nikki's 9.925, 9.95. I mean, she's set up for a big one here.
Just waiting on Peyton Richards' score to see what Florida's lead has ballooned to, because it is going to be a massive score coming up. It is a 9.9, tying a season high for Peyton Richards, and so we're talking a 49.6 rotation score for Florida. So, Bridget, what they do after on bars, starting on a 49.575, they back it up with a 49.6. I mean, talk about putting the hammer down and not leaving anything to chance so far halfway through the meet.
This is wild.
I mean, they are rolling and firing on all cylinders. We'll see if that continues, though. This meet is so close. Just a tenth separating Michigan State and Cal for the second and final spot in Fort Worth, as the Spartans have retaken that advantage over the Golden Bears in Pittsburgh. Somehow between the numbers 2 and 3 teams at the moment. Michigan State and Cal are separated by just a tenth. Alex Perlman, Bridget Sloan back with you. And even though Arizona State threw down a massive rotation in rotation number 2 on vault, it was enormous. They went with a 49.45, a new season high, but still, Bridget, sitting in 4th place, just barely though.
Absolutely, starting with Anaya Smith, nailing that Yurchenko 1.5. Then over to bars, Maddie Williams, doing what Maddie Williams does best, and that is nearly technically perfect gymnastics.
9.95 for her, and that caps off a 49.525 rotation on bars for Cal. Leanne Wong has been just about perfect on both of her events so far tonight.
She wants perfection every time and nearly got it with this 9.975 routine. Beautiful.
2 routines, both of them are 9.975s. What a start for her. And Nikki Smith, quite the bounce back from what I think she would even call a down meet on Friday.
No problems today. I mean, she's been outstanding on beam and now to floor. That was a 9.95. These teams, all 4 across the board, they are on fire right now.
And you can see Florida has extended its lead now to 2/10 and 3/4, but again, the race for second is what we are most focused on. You just have to be in the top 2 to advance to the NCAA National Semifinals in 2 weeks in Fort Worth. And right now, that difference is a single tenth between Michigan State and Cal. This has gotten absolutely wild, just like we saw, Bridget, in Norman yesterday. It came down to the very end as well, but Oklahoma was able to advance. Kentucky got past a team in Ohio State that nobody was expecting a 197.7 type score from. They reset their program high absolutely incredible for them. And Alabama finishing above 197.6. They're last in that regional. That's how good it was.
There is no such thing as an easy regional. Every single regional that is going on this weekend is difficult because these are the top teams. And what's amazing is these teams, every year, they get better and better.
And so here we have seen California, Michigan State, Florida, and Arizona State advance. Western Michigan, West Virginia, Maryland, and Penn State said goodbye. But we have a lot of gymnastics still to come right after we're done at 7 Eastern time on ESPN+. Well, you get a chance to watch the Denver Regional. We can't wait for that, where LSU, Oregon State, Michigan, and Denver will try to punch their ticket. Bridget, handicap this one for us.
I don't want to do that. That is a
Michigan and LSU
regional.
Are fantastic. Oregon State, of course, led by Jade Carey and Maddie Dagan. Denver just put up one of their biggest scores in postseason history. It really is, again, any of those four teams can advance. And so we head to rotation number 3, where Cal is going to go to beam. And remember, they are trailing by a 10th. This is an excellent beam rotation, 6th in the country. Florida to floor as they try to increase their lead even more so, with Victoria Wynn to lead off. Michigan State on vault, that's in the top left as Nia Smith gets ready to lead off. And then on bars, Arizona State in the top right, trying to keep pace, and they are not far behind, just a 10th and a half behind.
And Nia Smith, that was in that top left, that was a Yurchenko full. This was a tough event for Michigan State on Friday. Ended the rotation on Friday with a 49. Really wanting to see them amp it up. This is an opportunity for them to do the big vaults. Don't be worried about the landings. Get the height and the amplitude, and the landings will come.
On bars, Gracie Reeves on the top right. Nevaeh D'Souza. It must be so nice for Cal and co-head coaches Justin Howell and Liz Crandall Howell to have a senior all-arounder at the beginning of your rotations to really set the tone, especially in the regional final.
Absolutely. Nevaeh is stunning on all 4 events, but I think Cal balance beam is one of their better events. When you are looking at it on paper, and Associate Head Coach Justin Howell said, it's amazing because I get to sit back and watch the beam lineup. I get to be a fan of these athletes. Liz Crandall Howell, another Associate Head Coach for Cal, she is the beam coach. So Justin just gets to sit back and watch, and they really are magnificent on this event. Yes, co-head coaches Liz and Justin.
And so we get to watch D'Souza finish up as the routine on floor done for Victoria Wynn. Top left, Bailey Garcia on vault. That follows up Nia Smith's 9.7. So the pressure is now on the Spartans to have some big scores, especially once we get to the bottom of the lineup and Schulte, Smith, and Steven, who can put up huge numbers.
And wow, Nevaeh for Cal on beam starting off so strong. She had a 9.85 on Friday. Just a consistent and, again, almost a guaranteed hit.
Sienna Samley swinging on the top right, following up the 9.8 for Gracie Reeves. It is going to come down to who can do those little things, handstands, especially on bars, landings. Well, that's what Samley did right there. It's going to be tense, Bridget. We knew it coming in, and that's exactly how it's playing out.
So far, Arizona State doing a nice job. They had a 49.475 on Friday on bars, which is an outstanding score. So they know they can do it, and they just need to do their normal if they want to advance and punch that ticket onto Fort Worth.
Bailey Garcia with a nice hit for Michigan State on vault with a 9.825. Again, hoping that they continue to build those scores. Just a 49 in this rotation for the Spartans on Friday. They're ranked 8th in the country, capable of so much more than that.
And Lauren Sue, nice job, but again, the landings, we talk about vault. Vault didn't used to be the decider event, in my opinion, but it is right now. It is who can stick the most landings in those little tenths. That's 5 tenths if you're adding it up, and that is the decider of who's going to advance and who's not.
And also the big discrepancy that there can be between start values on vault. Not everybody is beginning with the 10-0, so it gives you a little baked-in advantage if you're able to do that vault and then execute it.
Exactly. It's a strategy game.
That was sky high on bars for Jada Mangahas. We love watching her dismount.
We love watching her in general. Right now, it's just so fun to watch everybody compete in that bottom right. Rachel Bauman.
Following up, Victoria wins 9.85, and she steps out.
And remember, did the same thing on Friday. She stepped out. That's a 10th of a deduction. She had a 9.7 on Friday. They ended up counting her score due to Trinity Thomas. It's never a bad thing to overdo it, but you gotta control those landings, even when you've got that extra juice in the tank.
And so Florida had created a bit of a cushion for itself. So also, you can drop Rachel Bauman's score at this point.
And if you take a look right there, you saw her shoulders go back really far before she actually got in the air, causing that extra rotation and ultimately the out of bounds. Each foot out of bounds is a 10th. That is going to be the score that they are definitely going to be looking to drop.
Hannah Scharf is swinging bars on the top right for Arizona State.
And just the dismount. It gets the stick. She had a 9.9 on Friday. That routine was better, in my opinion. It was cleaner, more precise with those handstands. That's going to be a big one for Arizona State.
So far, they can drop a 9.8 with Emily White and Sarah Clark still to come. You probably caught in the bottom right, Trinity Thomas giving some advice to Peyton Richards as she gets set to take the floor for Florida. Maddie Williams on the bottom left for Cal, following up D'Souza's 9.9. So automatic. Okay, top left, this is the freshman Nikki Smith.
A nice Yurchenko 1.5. She fell on Friday on that Yurchenko 1.5. Had to take the step forward. Again, if you are going to take a step and you are on vault and doing a Yurchenko 1.5, you want it to be forward, showing the judges that you have too much energy and too much power, not lack thereof, and taking that step backward. So overall, nice vault, but again, the landings gotta stick.
Does it seem like Nikki Smith is operating a little bit freer than she was on Friday? Because it makes sense. I mean, it's your first NCAA postseason.
Absolutely. Definitely calmer and just a little more normal. You can see her out there. She's light. She's having fun. She's making the gymnastics look effortless like she normally does. Wow. Emily White, top right. Arizona State just on a roll on this uneven bars rotation.
These sticks really are contagious, and they are putting so much pressure on Michigan State and Cal. And, you know, not to mention, there's some pressure right now on the Gators after the 9.65 from Bauman.
Top left, this is Gabby Stephen. Yurchenko full. One of the best Yurchenko fulls in the NCAA, and when she sticks it, it's not a guaranteed 9.95, but in my eyes it is. just a hop on that landing, but excellent height, rotation, just a beautiful ball all around.
Yeah, Michigan State really needed that one too, Bridget, because at the moment, nothing, when you talk about the 9-9 for Nikki Smith, other than that, everything's in the 9-8s. They can drop the 9-7 from Nia Smith. That's going to go away for sure. But then a 9-8, 9-8-2-5, 9-8-5, and 9-9. And remember, these are massive scores that the other teams are putting up. So they, even though they have that 10th cushion, that's not a cushion. I mean, you might as well be landing on stone. That's how much of a cushion it is. Gabby Stephen, 9-8-5 is the score that comes in. All right, so we know what Michigan State has done. It goes down as a 49-2-2-5 on vault. Better than what they did on Friday, but I think still a little bit lower than what Mike Rowe was hoping for.
Non-balance beam in the bottom left. This is MJ Frazier at a 9.85 on Friday for Cal. Beam is an event for Cal where they have been really consistent. And Liz Crandall-Howell has been so proud of them for just the work they put in the practice. They do that exactly when they're competing, and they know the pressure's there, but it is not a problem today for them.
Wow.
And MJ with the stick on that cartwheel, 1.5 dismount.
That is going to be a massive score for Cal. And by the way, they have 3 straight 9-9s to start off. It is looking more and more like the Golden Bears, the number 7 seed, are going to have the advantage to advance to nationals in the number 2 spot after 3 rotations. All right, Leanne Wong, 2 9-9-7-5s already today. Can she better that here? You know that she's feeling good going into this floor routine.
Well, Alex, she did score 9-9-7-5 on Friday, so the possibility is high that she gets
there's
that,
a lot of
if
precedent
not.
there.
Whip half to front full.
They might deduct a little bit on that landing, I'm not sure, but she has not had a 10 on floor yet. Every other event she has gotten perfection. You mentioned the 9-9-7-5, but regardless, her night is continuing in fine fashion, and she is, I'm not going to say having a coming out party because she's Leanne Wong, but she's doing exactly what everyone was hoping she could do.
Absolutely, and we talked about Cal's lineup on beam. MJ Frazier comes in with a huge 9.95. The lowest score on beam for Cal right now is a 9.9.
Yep, they're dropping a 9-9 at the moment, and they've got Lazan and Perea still to go.
Triple series there. Back handspring layout, step out. Aggressive to that finish right over the top of the beam.
I mean, Lazan is tied for 7th in the country on beam with Oklahoma's Jordan Bowers. She had her first collegiate 10 in the final regular season meet and broke the beam record twice in the span of 48 hours when you talk about Cal all-time records.
She only had a 9.725 on Friday. But man, is that going to be a big score tonight. Wow.
Where are the deductions?
That's a great question,
on that
Alex.
routine. We're about to find out. MJ Frazier with that 9.95 just kept the momentum going for Maya Lazan. And we wait on her score, which is going to be a significant one. That we know. Leanne Wong scored a 9.925 for Florida. So right now, Rachel Bauman's 9.65 is going away no problem with Kayla DiCello out on the floor now. DiCello, the SEC Freshman of the Year, had a 9.9 on floor last time out.
Kayla is just fantastic on this Florida team. Coming from elite, the transition can be really hard. It's just so different. And Kayla really transitioned seamlessly into all 4 lineups. Head coach Jenny Rowland said she is just so fun to have in the gym. Just a happy, goofy, gymnastics-loving athlete.
And we see that more and more now in the elite world, coming over, making the choice to go to college, which is an easy one with NIL. They don't have to worry about earning money for their future or competing in college because they do both. And Kayla DiCello is going to be a star for years to come in Gainesville and beyond. Maya Lazon's score on beam was a 9.95, still dropping a 9.9. I mean, this could be a 49.7 type rotation if Gabby Perea is able to hit. It's going to be close. She could put up a massive score too. By the way, Arizona State with a 49.5 looks like they are going to leap over Michigan State into 3rd. Cal should still be in 2nd. Let's see what Florida does to finish off on floor. Bridget, this is wild. I mean, it is exceeding expectations. Like John Roethlisberger, I think I'm going to need to get some oxygen in here.
Gabby is flawless on balance beam in the anchor position, being set up for a massive score and capable. She had a 9.9 on Friday in this anchor spot.
At the moment, even without Gabby Perea's score, even if they dropped it, Cal has a 49.6. You go to your best event, and what do? I mean, bar's also very good for them, but you need to take advantage of your strengths. And the Golden Bears did just that.
What a unique dismount. That was a side summy into a tuck 1.5 off the side of the beam.
Sloan Blakely just stepped out on the right side. That's going to be a 10th right there.
Take a look at this dismount on the left side of your screen. Side summy into a tuck 1.5 and gets the stick, coming after a 9.95.
I wonder if maybe Cal might have the lead after this.
I did not see a deduction in that beam routine. Now, mind you, I am not the judge. But to me, that was perfection.
Well, remember, at this point, Rachel Bauman's low score is a 9.65 for Florida. But we have to wait and see what Blakely finishes up with here, because she did step out. It's an automatic 10th deduction.
Nice combination pass, 1.5 to lay out. Not the routine that Sloan wanted. Staying in that white box is key on floor. Like you mentioned, Alex, it's an automatic 10th of a deduction.
And so we wait on that and see how it shakes out with only one rotation to go. We knew coming in, Bridget, that the top 2 teams that advanced to Fort Worth are going to go out and take it. No one is handing it to them with the type of gymnastics that we saw last night, and also what we saw on Friday night right here in this building. And so Perea's score yet to come in, and Blakely's for Florida. We know that Cal had a huge beam rotation. It's a 9.95 for Gabby Perea. 3 9.9s followed by 3 9.95s. Oh my goodness. And absolutely deserved.
I think there were a couple routines in that lineup that might have been a 10 in my eyes, but man, having 3 9.9s, 3 9.95s, I mean, again, they told us beam was one of their best events. And Liz told us she keeps it light in the gym, makes their assignments fun, because it can kind of be boring when your assignment's the same thing every single day. And she does an awesome job of just keeping them excited about the event, and they perform like that, they will be unstoppable.
Cal with a 49.65, tying their second best beam rotation in program history. All top 4 beam scores at Cal have come this year. And the Golden Bears are absolutely on fire as they will close out on floor, which is a rotation that they absolutely love, and they perform like the best in the country. Look at those scores. It is neck and neck to advance to Fort Worth here at the Pittsburgh Regional. Have you taken a breath yet? This is still as close as you could wish in Pittsburgh as we go to the 4th and final rotation. Alex Perlman, Bridget Sloan back with you. And Bridget, we saw some real standout routines in the 3rd rotation. Michigan State fell off a bit because of their vault, but Nikki Smith, the highlight with a 9.9.
Outstanding vault for Nikki. A vault she fell on Friday, just a step on the landing, had a 9.9. Over on bars for Arizona State. Sarah Clark doing what Sarah Clark does best. This routine with a 9.95. Sticks are contagious, and Arizona State definitely got the stick bug on bars in this double layout. Outstanding.
For Cal, Gabby Perea putting the exclamation point, the stamp, whatever you want to call it, on a 49.65 beam rotation with this 9.95.
Sticks the dismount. She was fabulous on that event.
Those are the types of rotations that get you to a regional final. Leanne Wong had to make up some ground for Florida. She ends up putting up a 9.925, the high score. But with Bauman and Blakely both stepping out, it goes down as just a 49.325 rotation score.
The Gators will need to bounce back on this 4th rotation, but outstanding across the board.
Look at what happened to Florida's lead here. I mean, leading by 2 tenths and 3/4, and now it's just .050. The lead. Remember, you do have to be in the top 2. It doesn't matter if you necessarily win your regional final, but you do need to be in the top 2, and right now Cal and Florida are in those spots. Alex and Bridget back with you. Bridget, what really jumps out to you though now is that Arizona State has a better chance to advance than Michigan State, who finds themselves in last place.
We knew this competition was going to be really tight, but Arizona State, they're calm and they're consistent and they're putting up the big scores. Michigan State on vault. It was a problem event for them on Friday. Couldn't really get that big jump to take a little bit of a larger lead for them. And again, it comes down to the stuck landings.
It certainly looked like Florida was going to run away with this one, but with the stumbles on floor, it is not quite the case. Look at the difference between Florida and Cal at this point. Arizona State, seeded for their 3rd straight year. Last year, they finished last in the Norman Regional 2nd session. They did not even make it to this point. But this is a program on the rise, and Jay Santos liked how his team was performing coming in. The 196.7 at Pac-12s was lower than I think anybody expected, and they knew that there was a little bit more motivation coming into Pittsburgh.
Michigan State getting things started off on this 4th rotation on uneven bars. Skyla Schulte, nicely done. Right now, Michigan State, I hope they're not focusing on the scores, because they really just need to focus on themselves. They are capable of big scores here. They had a 49.325 on Friday. Not their best bar score, but certainly a nice confidence boost.
Florida's going to be the first team to finish those. You just saw Leanne Wong in the top left on vault. Bars is Michigan State. They're on the top right. Beam, Arizona State in the bottom left. Bottom right is Cal, as Nevaeh D'Souza once again tries to set the tone, the senior for the Golden Bears. On beam, Kayla Lee leads off. For Arizona State, this is their lowest ranked rotation, just tied for 19th in the country, but they had a 49.475 in session 2 on Friday.
And Kayla finishing. Fights for that landing, gets the stick. She had a 9.75 on Friday. Nice start for Arizona State on the tricky balance beam, only 4 inches wide. And to be ending on this event can be really mentally challenging. You're on such a high on the first 3, and then on beam, you got to be very calm, very cool, and don't fall.
All right away, let's focus on the top right the most, because that's where Michigan State is. So we'll know by their scores as they come in if they're going to have a chance to qualify. Again, they are in 4th place. Skylar Schulte's score was a 9.9 to lead off. Top left is Peyton Richards.
Beautiful.
Florida just needs to be the vault team that they always are, and they should be in a really good spot.
Outstanding for Florida, which Peyton is normally actually in the leadoff position on vault, but when we talked to head coach Jenny Rowland, she said, I actually am going to switch it up here. I think I like Leanne starting for us, and Peyton, it gives her time to really settle in after the warm-up, and she had a 9.9 on Friday with pretty much a carbon copy of that vault that we just saw. It's going to be a big score. 10-0 start value for Peyton in this Florida vault lineup.
Yeah, the switch by Jenny Rowland absolutely working to perfection. Gracie Reeves is on beam on the bottom left for Arizona State. Kayla Lee's score was a 9.8. You put up 9.9 plus scores, and you are probably going to Fort Worth. I mean, for any of these teams, honestly, if they're able to put that pressure on the other ones, I know they don't necessarily know the scores as they're coming in, but we can certainly tell you if they do it, how that's going to affect their chances.
And Gabby Stephen in the top right for Michigan State. So far, so good. Just the dismount.
Oh, no, in the top left for Sloan Blakely. 9.9 and 9.95 at the moment for Florida, so they can drop Blakely's score with 3 straight hits from DiCello, Clark, and Wynn. Remember, Blakely stepped out in the anchor spot on floor a moment ago. Some uncharacteristic mistakes here from the Gators, and they are not right now having the opportunity to be able to go out and put out that type of option. I'm not really sure if, you know, with Florida, they can obviously recover from this, Bridget, but this puts a lot more pressure, and it's not a guaranteed qualification like if they hit every single one of their vaults here.
No, this is where we talk about the depth being important. This is where it is crucial because they cannot count a fall. The next 3 athletes, Kayla DiCello, Chloe Clark, and Victoria Wynn in the anchor spot, they don't need to be perfect, but they need to stay on their feet.
It could come down to Victoria Wynn. So we'll have to keep our eyes on how Florida responds. Waiting on Blakely's score. Michigan State on bars has gone 9.9 and 9.85. That throws a real wrench into the proceedings here in Pittsburgh. Blakely's is a 9.325. Jory Jackert is in the top right, following up Gabby Stevens' routine.
Jory starts things off, blind change into her single bar release. So smooth on all of her transitions.
DiCello in the top left.
And Jory, takes a hop on that landing. Before that dismount, that routine was flawless. Just a hop on the landing. There was a blind change, full pirouette into a double tuck.
The lowest score right now for Michigan State is 9.85 with a pair of 9.9s to go along with it. And so here we go, Bridget. Chloe Clark, Victoria win to come for the Gators. Oklahoma advanced counting a fall on beam. They did count a 9-3 from Olivia Troutman. They had a nice little cushion, though, at that point in the meet. Florida does not quite have that at this point. It's a 9-9 from Nevaeh D'Souza. Season high for her on floor for Cal on the bottom right. You see Maddie Williams getting ready to take the floor for the Golden Bears, and Gabby Perea's score has just come in with a 9.875. But all the drama right now is in the top left of your screen. The Gators need 2 hits. 9.875 for Kayla DiCello.
Chloe Clark. Yurchenko full, nicely done. Just a hop on the landing. That's a 9.95 start value.
That's still okay.
Absolutely. And top right, Nikki Smith, outstanding bar routine for Michigan State. Coming after Jory's 9.8.
They're trying to drop that score. Other than that, in 2 9.9s and a 9.85. Smith and Harkness, all that are left right now for Michigan State.
And Alex, it looks like there is a lineup change. This is Bree Edwards in the top left for Florida.
Yes, it is a late change in the anchor spot. Oh my goodness. This is some real drama right now as Edwards comes off the bench. Jenny Rowland deciding to go with Edwards over Wynn to advance back to NCAA Nationals, where they finished runner-up last year, falling to Oklahoma by just over a 10th.
And
Florida only led by .050 over Arizona State, or rather over Cal in rotation number 3 at the end of it.
And if you were watching that top right, that was Delaney Harkness coming after Nikki Smith's 9.95 in the anchor position. So Michigan State's meet is over. They did everything they could, and now is the dreaded waiting game.
And exactly the 4th rotation on bars that they needed. They will drop 9.8. Edwards with a few deep breaths. Florida's season on the line on vault top left. And she put it down. Absolutely clutch.
Yurchenko full, some steps on the landing. It was not a perfect vault, but it was exactly what Florida needed in this final rotation. Nice height. Love that she keeps her hips open, but a little bit of a stumble on the landing. I can only imagine the nerves she's feeling, but what a way for Bree Edwards to step into the moment, to really just rise to the occasion, not just for herself, but for her team.
The sophomore from Florida, hitting when she needed to the most. We wait on her score to see what it comes down to for the Gators, but they knew they could not count Sloan Blakely's fall, and they do not. Two of these teams are going to join Kentucky, Oklahoma, Utah, and UCLA, and it's coming down to the final routines. This
is Emily White for Arizona State on balance beam. coming after Sarah Clark's 9.875. You're not seeing the huge scores for Arizona State on balance beam. They need the big scores if they want to advance into that second position.
Cal is absolutely getting the big ones on the right side of your screen on floor. A couple of 9.9s with a 9.875 sandwich between. And another nice routine for Andy Lee. For Arizona State, a couple of 9.8s, a 9.85 and a 9.875. Just a slight step there for Emily White on the dismount, but remember, all of these half-tenths are certainly going to count at this point. And there's Bree Edwards' score, 9.75. It is a rotation score of 49.3, and the 197.8 is final. Very good score for the Gators, exactly what they needed to do. See, Michigan State is at 197.65. They are also finished. Arizona State has one more athlete still to go. It's the senior all-arounder Hannah Scharf. And two more competitors for the Golden Bears, Maya Lazan and MJ Frazier. And this is why you train all year long, Bridget. You're getting ready for moments like these. I would imagine it's hard to duplicate, though.
It's very hard, but it's possible if you don't think about it, which I know that sounds really strange when I say it out loud, but these athletes, when they're competing, they're on autopilot. I mean, they know, they have done these routines so many times. So when you get to the competition, you're not thinking about the size or the magnitude of the competition. You're just thinking about yourself, your routine, and really these athletes go on autopilot. And Hannah Scharf, she had a phenomenal Friday on balance beam. Had a career best 9.95. Side subby, no issue today. Had a little bit of some balance checks in warm-up, but she is a
Scharf
gamer.
And at a 9.95 on Friday. They need one of those type scores to give themselves a fighting chance against the Golden Bears, but that routine might have just sealed it from Lazan. Massive scores for them, not only on beam, but now on floor.
And Hannah delivers with the stuck 1.5 dismount. Coming after Emily White's 9.825. They have not broken into the 9.9s. See if Hannah can do it. And no matter what happens, Arizona State, Michigan State, Florida Cal, all four should be incredibly proud of what they have accomplished this weekend.
I think Cal is starting to realize what is afoot. Looking at those scores, maybe trying to do some mental math, I know we all are, to see if there's any way that they're able to be caught.
You're always told don't focus on the scores, but let me tell you, your eyes start to wander and you start to see what's happening up there, and it's hard not to. I mean, Cal just
Maya Lazan with a 9.95, Bridget.
Wow.
So without dropping anything right now, it looks like they could be good even without MJ Frazier's score, but we will wait on the final numbers, make sure it's official before we see exactly who is advancing. But I mean, Lazan's score is in 197.975.
So this is just a moment for MJ Frazier to go out there and have some fun. This is an amazing event for her. She opens this floor routine. She did a double layout that was fabulous every time.
And so not only is Cal going to advance to NCAA Nationals, they are going to win the regional final over the Florida Gators. This is why 2023 has been, I think undoubtedly, we say it every year, but it's been the best year, the best season of NCAA gymnastics that we've ever seen.
Without a doubt.
It's like a victory lap here for MJ Frazier.
Front through to double tuck, nails that landing. This is when it really sinks in.
They know.
Absolutely outstanding performances across the board, but Cal just really brought it. They had an okay day on Friday, not their best, but today capitalized on all of it and just went out with a bang. I mean, wow.
They are right on the cusp of a 198 as well, which they have reached already this season. They had back-to-back, which broke the program record. What a roll the Golden Bears are on. And for the 5th time in program history, California advances to NCAA Nationals. And Florida, for the 39th time in the meet's 41-year history, is going to Fort Worth as well. Look at MJ Frazier's score come in at 9.975. Wow. Near perfection, and that's kind of how you would describe this meet for the Golden Bears.
No doubt. They did not have one event where I would say, ooh, not the event that they wanted to have. I mean, across the board, all 4 events, they rose to the occasion. They elevated what they did from Friday and just were fabulous. Amazing, amazing job. Amazing performances by Cal. What a time.
Bridget, I'm sure that you know what it is like to advance to nationals. Of course, I know that. But now Florida finds itself after a couple of meets where, you know, I am sure they wanted to see a 198 up there and kind of establish their presence. Doesn't happen. You lose your star for the regional final. How do you think that Jenny Rowland is feeling right now with now 2 weeks to prepare for Fort Worth?
I'm sure she's very glad that she has these 2 weeks to prepare for Texas. This is an opportunity for the leadership to really come out, because right now, everybody that has qualified and is advancing to Fort Worth starts out clean. It is a clean slate for everybody. So this is one of those moments where, as a leader, you can come out and say, guys, we don't have to worry about regionals. It's done, it's over with, we advanced. That is what is important. Putting the mistakes away. It was not a perfect night for Florida at all. Of course, they were missing Trinity Thomas, but they still did really great stuff. And they still had amazing routines. So getting back in the gym and just remembering the confidence that they have and the ability to do great gymnastics, they have that.
For Michigan State, they bow out at the exact same point as last year. They were in Seattle, this year in Pittsburgh, but put up quite a representative 197.65. And Bridget, this is kind of what's running through my mind. If Florida has to count that fall, Michigan State is going to Fort Worth instead of the Gators. That's how important those routines were, those vaults by Clark and Edwards.
Michigan State has so much to be proud of this weekend. Really came out today, started so strong. But they, you know, the 197.65, that is an outstanding team finish for Michigan State. That's an outstanding team finish regardless. But when you are competing at regionals in the NCAA, it is tough. I mean, there was no easy regional this weekend. And like we've mentioned so many times before, these teams are getting better and better. And it's only up from here.
And Jay Santos' Arizona State Sun Devils will go home, but they have absolutely nothing to hang their heads about. a program on the rise in his 7th season as the head coach in Tempe. Seeded for the 3rd straight year as the number 15 seed coming into this one. And the future is bright for that program as well. But Florida will be the first one to put their name on the bracket. Trinity Thomas, Peyton Richards pasting that Florida tape. Congratulations to the Gators. It was well earned. Certainly not their best 2 meets, but you don't have to do it the best right now. It's all about 2 weeks at NCAA semifinals, and then if they're lucky enough to advance in the championships. Excellent sportsmanship as well, shown here by Cal and Florida. And why wouldn't they be excited for each other? They'll both see each other at Dickies Arena.
Now, Alex,
Bridget, what is this moment like?
I don't know. I never got to experience this where you get to take the game off and put it up there. I bet that's a new one. Awesome. Yeah. I bet that is awesome. But knowing that you are advancing, knowing that you did it, whether it was perfect or not, is something to be proud of. And it is a kind of one of those like, oh, I can take a deep breath now, because it is stressful. It is very, very stressful. Because you know every team that was competing today, all 4, Cal, Florida, Michigan State, Arizona State, they all wanted the same thing, was to be in those top 2 spots. 4 teams, only 2 advance. It's tough.
Yes, it is. And Michigan State and Arizona State are 2 outstanding programs that will watch the championship from home. All right, well, we know the 5th and 6th team that will get to Fort Worth. We have 2 more to decide, and it's coming up in just 20 minutes. 7 Eastern time on ESPN+. LSU, Oregon State, Michigan, and Denver will fight for those 2 spots. Bridget, exactly as advertised tonight here at the Peterson Event Center. It was a meet where any 4 of the teams could advance, and we didn't expect maybe to see Cal at the top when it's all said and done as a regional champion. But the Golden Bears have made a statement to the gymnastics world tonight.
Absolutely. They should take this weekend's performance, put it in their back pockets, and know that they are capable of 198.075. And they didn't have a perfect evening. They could definitely go a little bit higher on vault, maybe a little higher on bars. Now, beam was lights out for them, but ultimately, this is a moment for both Florida and Cal to take this as a confidence boost, to know that they're advancing, and to get right back in the gym and start working on those details.
And they have 2 weeks to do just that before they head to Fort Worth to the NCAA National Semifinals. What a meet this was between Cal and Michigan State, Florida, Arizona State, but in the end, it's the Golden Bears and the Gators that advance to the national championship. Thanks so much for joining us with Bridget Sloan for our fantastic crew. I'm Alex Perlman saying so long from Pittsburgh.